Hi, my name is Dave Galbierczyk. I'm one of the two principals here at HB Whitehorn Middle School. We had the opportunity to bring in an assembly to our school to address bullying, and we approached it in a unique way where we decided let's have our female students talk about issues that tend to affect them, and have our male students deal with issues that that affect them. And so we turned to Scott Chesney, who's someone that I've known for a long time. He is not only well known in Verona, he's well known throughout the state, throughout the country, and even internationally as a public speaker. And we were so fortunate that that Scott has worked so closely with our community as an alumnus of it. And he was a perfect person to talk to boys about what it means to be brothers, what it means to be kind to one another, what it means to support one another, and to stick up for one another, because that's too often it's lacking. And when we were bouncing around ideas, he was the first name that came to mind, and we're so appreciative that he came in and met with our students. So in the days and weeks and months after Mr. Scott's presentation, we've certainly seen an after effects. Kids the boys at the assembly, some of whom struggle to meet our academic needs, committed to making a habit. Scott talked about if you do something for 21 straight days, it will become a habit. And kids recognized that they could do it day by day. If they committed to something, it'd be a habit. So we've seen an improvement in some of our male students in their academic achievement. We've also seen more inclusiveness. No one sits alone at lunch. I've seen boys welcome other boys regardless of whether a boy was an athlete, involved in the drama program, whatever the so-called clique may have been, or maybe that I perceived. I saw boys dropping those walls and being more inclusive of one another. And that's what we preach here in our school, in our town, that we are one town, we are Verona. And certainly Scott's presentation helped reinforce that, and we've seen a real commitment to the values that Scott challenges to. Scott talked to us about getting out of our comfort zone, trying something that's not easy, and he had us during the presentation, boys who might not normally talk to one another have conversations, find common ground, because all of us have that common ground. All of us males, all the boys in the room have a lot of that are in common. And his presentation made our students understand and recognize that despite what we may see on the surface, everyone has a heart that's within them. And he really helped our boys be vulnerable and be okay with being vulnerable. So I've had staff members, both male and female, come up to me throughout the year since Scott's presentation, talk to me about a difference they've seen in how boys are treating one another. I've heard teachers tell me that boys are acting with more kindness. They're sharing different things that boys have done to make others feel included. A new student comes to the school, and some of the boys have been welcoming more so than we've seen in the past. So it's been an obvious difference in our school community. Not only students but faculty alike have recognized the difference that the boys in our school have been more welcoming, more accepting of others, and more open-minded about their own abilities and the obstacles that they tend to put in their own way of encouraging themselves to push themselves forward, and boys making other boys be better as a result of dropping some of those barriers and supporting one another in a positive way. If your school had an opportunity to bring Scott in, I would absolutely do it. The assembly that Scott delivered to our school was with our 350 or so male students. That being said, I've seen him do assemblies for co-ed audiences, male-only audiences, and I'd recommend him for any middle school. His message is tailored to the needs of the audience, and so he's unbelievable in connecting with kids, with staff, and tailoring a message that resonates with them. His message is clear, it hits home, and there are takeaways. It's not just a message that is heard for that hour or so assembly and then forgotten about. He describes things that kids can do, that we all can do in our everyday lives, that are simple and that approach life in a way that makes us want to be better people. And that's who Scott is. And I wholeheartedly recommend him for your school.
One thing I remembered about the presentation was that when he said impossible, and then he built that up to I'm possible. And I really like that message because it's basically saying never give up, and that's basically what he did.
One thing that stuck with me is when if you believe in something, anything is possible. Because if you have your mind to it, then you can do whatever you want to do.
The one thing that stuck with me most is to never give up and to always keep pushing yourself beyond your abilities, because you can do so much if you just go that extra mile and you just work hard.
What stuck with me from the presentation was to never give up. No matter how deep of a hole you're in, you can always dig yourself out, and there will be people there to lift you back up. To always keep trying, and success is always an option.
Some of the things that he says sticks with you for the rest of your life that encourage you to help others.
That presentation, it changed my day. I was having a rough time socially with my friends in school and on the basketball court, and listening to that presentation really helped me realize that I could always bounce back from it, and I was never down until I gave up, and Mr. Chesney helped me realize that I should never give up.
I think it's a good thing he could do anywhere, because I think the speech resonates with certain kids more than others. Maybe some kids need that speech. It's very uplifting for a lot of kids.
People connect with Scott immediately with his sense of humor and his passion for helping people. It's very simple. If you look at things in a positive light, it's going to be positive. If you look at it in a negative light, things are going to be negative. It is that simple. It's us who make the world complicated.